I'm Corey, massage therapist and nail designer at Neroli North Shore location in Milwaukee. We are here today just to offer a little guidance for caring for your loved one at home and doing some couples massage or friend self massage on each other. So plenty of us have tight shoulders and neck, working at home and computers. Just in general, it's a high stress area, whether you're sitting down or doing repetition. So when we want a little quick fix from our partner at home, it usually is those areas. So we're going to start with focusing on neck, shoulders, neck, scalp. And sometimes people just feel like they don't know what they're doing. So hopefully this will help you just provide a little bit better massage for your loved one or your significant other at home. So a good place to start is just, we want to have a good lubricant or oil. So we're going to utilize the Stress Fix products today. The Stress Fix products have lavender, lavandin, clary sage, frankincense, and vetiver. And the really cool part is that it is clinically tested to lower the stress hormone cortisol in the body. So I just get kind of a nice palm full of oil, rub my hands together. If you have a massage blend at home that works for you, usually oil is better glide than a lotion, but if you have a lotion, you can always just mix in a little bit of oil for better glide. Even like olive oil or grapeseed oil or coconut oil, if you have those things on hand in a pinch. But if you're an Aveda lover and you have some of these products at home. So we're just going to start with applying rather liberally because it's just easier to not have to reapply the oil to the neck and shoulders. So that'll allow a smooth glide while we're massaging, even out to the outer shoulder, as well as the upper, the neck. So I'm really not using much pressure. I'm just applying the oil to start with. And then just for an overview, we're going to start with working both sides a little bit to kind of warm everything up and give a nice even approach. And then I'll move to one side and really kind of get into working that side more. And then I'll work the other side. And then we'll move into the neck as well as the scalp a little bit. And then to finish, we will end with kind of tying it back together like we started and kind of doing both sides at the same time. So a lot of this is just not overthinking and just kind of letting your hands feel and glide. We're going to do a lot of like circle motions, whether it's fingertips, maybe like lifting with both hands. If you're, I'll show you thumbs, but I really don't use thumbs a lot in massage because they just get tired too fast. It's just too little. But for doing a little bit at home, it's probably okay. But you can go from thumbs to fingertips together to even like the side edge of the hand, if that doesn't feel good for your fingers. So we're just going to start with kind of squeezing and lifting the major muscle from here to here. So I've got the whole thing in my palm wrapped around, and I'm just kind of squeezing and lifting up at the same time. So I don't want to be like this little squeezing motion, like that doesn't feel as good. I want to really have my whole palm relaxed on the shoulder in the meat of the muscle. And just to kind of warm up, I'm just going to squeeze and lift a few times. And then I'm going to come back down with fingertips. So this is kind of a little triangle area. We're really just watching out for, number one, the spine right through here in the direct middle. And then we've got a bony area. So you've got the shoulder blade outline, kind of a triangular shape here. So we're really going to work over and then around the corner angle. And then again, there's a bone here, the middle edge. So we're just going to kind of work between here and the spine. And if you're not sure, you can just kind of feel with your hand a little bit where the bony part is, and then use your other hand. So I'm going to keep this here for a guide if I'm not sure. So again, I'm just going to start with both sides, really just doing circles all the way out. as opposed to just like one little area. So I'm just really gliding across the whole surface and even down the shoulders. And I'm gonna do big little circles. Just little meaning just over this area, but bigger to encompass like the full length like we just talked about. So I'm just, and then you can feel as you're gliding like kind of bumps through here. A lot of people have knots and bumps, so don't be afraid to like make those move and kind of click and bump. That's actually a good thing. And then coming all the way down, so little circles through the base of the neck. Now I'm going to work down closer to the spine. I'm going to keep my circles right along the edges of the spine, and then kind of extending out right to this edge. So I'm going to go right up to the edge, circle back around. And how's that pressure feeling so far, Faith?
Good.
Do you feel like you could have a little more pressure, or is it good where it's at?
I think it's good where it's at.
Okay. And if you're doing this with a significant other or somebody that you know, you probably have good communication anyways, as far as like, you can just ask your person to let you know if they need more or less, or if it's ever too hard anywhere. So I'm kind of like pushing in with a pressure that's not super deep, but it's not just super light skin rubbing either. So I want to push in enough that I'm making contact with the muscle underneath the skin and kind of really feeling that. You can kind of see it a little bit as we move the skin, that I'm into the muscle more. So you kind of want to feel the muscle like moving a little bit underneath your fingers. So instead of just like a skin, you really want to feel it like moving. So if the towel is their skin, I'm kind of like making the towel ripple a little bit, because I'm moving that muscle underneath as opposed to just keeping it smooth and light on the surface and not moving anything. So I'm just going to warm up all the way down. And then where I feel extra thickness or tightness or the knots, the bumpiness, I can just kind of do a little bit more through those areas. And as I warm up, if they do want more pressure, you can just kind of start with warming them up and then just slowly increase the pressure a little bit. So I'm going to go back to some of the bumpy areas. Most people do have knots in their shoulders, in their neck, so it's nothing to worry about. That's just the tightness in the muscle. So by kind of moving it and allowing it to click a little bit and feeling that bump kind of move under your hands, you're just helping to like increase the blood flow to the muscle, which is going to help it relax, and that will give them more relief than if we don't move the knots or the bumps. It's going to feel good, but it won't give them as much relief. So everybody's different in what they like. Just go with what your partner feels like is a good. So we're also utilizing, we're trying to because you guys are going to do this at home, we're just simulating, like you can sit on use a chair at home, like at a table or a counter space, so that they can kind of comfortably lean and relax a little bit more. Just because working on a couch can be really kind of awkward, and there's really no good way to like put your neck. You can always try a couch if you want, but we're just trying to get as close to like what you might be able to utilize at home for each other. So then I'm just going to kind of work again closer to the spine. So little circles right next to the spine. So just moving from down here where I started, slowly up, little circles. And then I just kind of press and hold in here. And Faith, I'm just going to have you kind of use your hands to support your chin, like just kind of lean into it a little bit, because that's going to relax the neck muscles more. So in the hairline, so we can go right up to, everybody's got a bony ridge right about here, but it's actually up in the hair a little bit. So to really get good relief, I can put my thumb where that bony ridge is just to mark it. I can feel it with these fingers too, but if you're not sure, just keep your hand closer to the spine to mark that. And then, so instead of doing like little, I can do little circles, or I can just kind of like press in and push and hold, move over just a tiny bit, press in, kind of do a little circle as I'm pressing in. So I'm keeping the contact on the muscle. Is that pressure okay? Mm-hmm. But I'm still kind of just, so I'm really feeling the muscle moving underneath my fingers, just kind of moving it in a circular motion. And then I can work my way back down the side. So I was closer to the spine before, now I'm going to get more out into the side. Do a nice, and then sometimes I'll use both hands too. I might grip and then follow with this hand where that tighter section is. You can even use both. If you really feel confident and comfortable, you can kind of rotate with both a little bit for more of a luxurious relaxation massage feeling. If your significant other or partner is really, really, really tight or thickly muscled type of physique, then it might be, to get more pressure, it would be easier to use the side, or even like not digging the knuckles in, but like the flat parts. So just kind of bony areas are going to give you, so again, bony areas are going to give you a firmer pressure. Is that pressure still okay? Mm-hmm. So just depending on the body type and preference of who you're working on, or I can go into the whole side, but that's just going to be easier on my hand to get a deeper pressure for somebody that wants a deeper pressure than just trying to do fingers and thumbs constantly. And you can just kind of keep the flow going, like bring it all the way out to the side of the shoulder and just work your way down. So I'm just hand over hand, gliding from here, you know, as far out as I glide, it just feels more complete and more relaxing than if I'm just kind of stopping here. So I'm just using my palm, or again, like the side, both hands, little circles again. And most of us, and then we're going to wrap around this triangular corner. And we are going to just continue our little circles further out from spine, kind of all the way out to this corner. So a little bigger circle than before. Again, utilizing the side if they want more pressure. And if you're not sure, again, just kind of leave one hand on that bonier corner. So now I'm going to scoop with my whole hand and fingers around this corner. So I'm really using the full length of my fingertips. I'm going to scoop like 3 times is a good repetition, just for that like complete feeling. I'm going to go into kind of the side of my hand a little bit. So I'm marking that corner and bringing my stroke from the spine all the way to that edge. And you want to just kind of go fairly slow. You don't want to go too fast, especially if they want a deeper pressure. The deeper you go, the slower you want your pressure to be. And again, just where I feel the flipping and the tightness, I'm going to just hang out and keep repeating where it's tighter or knotted and flippy. And then work my way back up through that tightness. And most of us feel tension through here, but the whole shoulder works together. So usually this area feels really good. Or you might not realize that it's also tense feeling until it's getting rubbed and getting massaged. So again, we've got this kind of, we're working over this is like a triangular bone, the shoulder blade, and there's a muscle right on top of it. So here's my corner from before. So I'm just going to use the same circles. So I'm really pushing into the skin and feeling the muscle move underneath. And then right to the very edge too, the outer edge. So I'm just going to back and forth, gentler motion. Sometimes it's more tender in the outer area. So my contact is really coming through here. And if I press in and gently kind of swirl, that helps me to feel where the muscle is or where the tension is. Sometimes if you're just simply doing like a straight stroke, you don't feel it as well. So to kind of come in and swirl around very gently. So it's not a super deep, it's more of a feeling, just trying to feel the muscle out and what's going on. But that can kind of help you feel where the tension is too. So same thing, like where it's tight, you can kind of press in. And that's why it's a circular motion a lot, just to really help feel the tightness in the muscle. So I worked one side. I'm going to just work the other side in the same fashion. So we want it to feel even on both sides. So whatever you do on one side, try to replicate on the other side. So again, I'm doing my little circles from the spine out to the edge of the shoulder blade right here. So here to here. And I can outline the edge of the shoulder blade. That's something you can do on your partner too, just to give yourself an idea of where you're working. So I'm just going to continue my little circles. And if your hands get tired, kind of work into that. You can use your palm too. It's just not going to provide as much pressure. But if they don't need a super deep pressure, but with the angle on the wrist, if your wrist gets tired, that's the nice thing about the outer edge of the hand, is that it's keeping your wrist a little bit straighter. So spine to shoulder blade, little circles, feels a little tense in there. So I'm just going to keep repeating because I feel more thickness or tightness. Continue my little circles right along to the side of the spine, so I know I can feel the spine right through here. So I'm just going to kind of stay to the side, little circles from the base at the shoulder all the way up to that ridge that's into the hairline. And then little circles. And because you can't see in the hairline as well, so little circles just moving out a step, each step to the side. So I start here, one, I move over, two, can even do another column or row to the side. So you can break it down into little sections too, to just get the entire neck. And instead of trying to glide and get caught up in the hair, I'm just going to push in and kind of gently swirl the fingers so I can feel the muscle. I'm going to lift up out of the hair and then reposition further down so that I'm not pulling her hair. And again, just kind of swirling. Now I can kind of keep that swirl going. Now that I'm out of the hair a little bit, I can continue it down the shoulder for more completeness. And then I'm going to reposition more to the side, press in gently, swirl gently. So when you make contact, you want to just you don't want to just jab right in. Some people have a really strong, grip and they don't realize it. So especially for guys working on a woman, maybe if you're not as used to massaging, that's something to keep in mind, is just kind of press in gently and make contact and really feel it, because you can always continue to press in more. So instead of just like a sudden swift, you want to just kind of gently and ease into it a little bit. So again, I'm gonna, instead of pulling your hair, I'm gonna just lift out, reposition down so I can do the circles, work those muscles, lift out, reposition down. And then up here in the base of the head, you can, it's hard to see with the hairline in place. So the back of the skull comes out. It's kind of like a curve. So this part curves out and then under. So if this is the bottom part right here, and then this is her neck, this is what you're gonna feel when you go into the hairline, is a ridge where instead of continuing straight, it kind of goes up, right? So what I'm gonna do is right in the middle above the spine, I'm gonna use my thumb or my finger to just really gently press up into this little divot or ridge. And then again, I'm just gonna reposition. So from center, I'm gonna reposition to the side and then reposition to the side. So you can kind of do 1, 2. So I'm just really working that ridge underneath where the neck muscles meet. And there's usually a lot of tension up there, especially if people get headaches. So you want to not only work the neck, but really kind of get up into that ridge in the hairline to be really complete. And then again, I want to simulate what I did on the other side. Sorry, Faith, I hope I'm not pulling. And I want to just continue my circles down. And then I'm going to scoop like I did on the other side, follow with this hand. Scoop, so I've got my fingers in the front of this muscle, kind of lifting like I did with the palm, but now with my thumb. And then I'm just following with this hand just to make it feel more complete and flowy in a sense. And then we can scoop from front to back as well, coming across the very front part of the muscle. So not just the back side. You can also kind of scoop with your fingertips together. And then working down the shoulder. So my hand is just going completely from here down as far as I can. And just repeating now with the palm. Or you can kind of keep fingertips together. And then, so we've got our triangular shaped shoulder blade, which is slightly bony. You want to just make sure you know where the corner is. And if you click against that corner, that's okay. If you rub this muscle this way, you might feel it or hear it kind of click against the muscle. That's okay. We just don't want to put pressure directly on that bony spot. But then the rest of this triangle has more muscle over the top of it. So again, we're just gonna simulate what we did on the other side so it feels complete, and work the outer shoulder as well. And I just like to kind of keep as I'm pushing, just so I'm not pushing her. I keep a guide hand sometimes, just so I feel like I'm not pushing the person around too much. And again, in this area, it can be harder to feel the little muscle on the side, so I'm just gonna gently push in with this part of my fingers and then just real gently swirl around so I can kind of feel that muscle move a little bit. If it's too tender or ticklish, you can just skip over that. Not everybody is going, it might not feel good to everybody if they're really ticklish. And then I'm just going to, for ending, so again, just to make it more complete, we worked both sides at the beginning. We moved to one side and then did the same thing on the other side. And then to finish, you're just gonna go back to like we started for that complete feeling and kind of work both sides at the same time. So I'm just gonna lift and scoop, circles, big circles through the upper shoulder blade all the way out, coming back from upper down. And then, just for the purposes of the video, I'm gonna wipe a little oil off of my hands. And then we're just gonna end with the scalp massage. So again, because it's hard to see, so think of like you're rubbing, picture your hands rubbing shampoo into their hair. So you really wanna like work it around in a circle, like you're trying to scrub the head. That's kind of similar to how we massage. So I'm just gonna do like one area. And again, I don't wanna pull her hair. So I'm gonna lift out, I'm gonna reposition my hands up. So I'm just kind of like little circles, I'm scooping, but I'm not just like on top of the hair, just like we're not just working the top of the skin. I wanna put my fingers in and I wanna make contact with the skin of the scalp, and I wanna really feel the skin like moving back and forth, just like when we kind of circled the muscle and you can feel it moving. We want to kind of feel that scalp moving, so making a complete contact. So because it's hard to see in the hair, if this is the scalp of the head, I'm not just like working on the surface where I'm not moving the underneath. I want to really like lift in and kind of bunch up. Like I'm going to feel, I'm not pulling, but my fingers are making enough contact, and then as I swirl into a circle, I can feel just like the towel is bunching a little bit. I can feel like I'm moving the scalp a little bit, just like the towel is moving, as opposed to just sitting on the surface. So, working from the back. So I ease in gently but firmly. And reposition so I'm not like pulling. So if I just do like a soft, slow circle motion, it doesn't take a lot to feel that skin of the scalp moving, but it's more than just a very light surface thing. Plus we have muscles on top, so there's, especially through here, there is thinner muscles with the scalp, not just skin that covers the skull. So again, I'm just gonna ease in gently and do little circles that kind of move those muscles and skin a little bit. Can spend a little time by the temples, above the ear line. I'm gonna make sure that I'm really kind of working all the way out to the ear. And this gets bonier through here, so I'm just gonna be a little more gentle and careful, but I'm still just working thoroughly the whole side. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. And they always have a fabulous hairdo after this, so no extra charge for that. And then one last move that's kind of luxurious feeling is using your fingers to kind of scissor the ears on both sides. If you feel like playing with it, you can. If that just seems too complicated, you can just keep it to. So I'm just kind of scooping down to the front and the behind her ear and just kind of lifting. And it is really relaxing to rub the ears a little bit too. So just to kind of like, I'm not pinching hard, I'm just making contact on each side and then doing like little circles, not like in the ear, but just the outer ear. And if they don't have earrings on, especially the lobe can feel really good. So feel free to kind of get the ears included too, especially doing this at home with a partner or significant other. Can just be a little more intimate feeling. So now we've brought it back together and we're just kind of doing some finishing strokes to make it more complete. I can also finish with just a little compression, kind of pushing the shoulders down away from the ears. Most of us are kind of hunched up. And then I'm just going to end with a little squeeze to kind of let her know. All right, and that concludes our couples massage for at home. So I hope you find that helpful and can In between massages at the spa, you can help each other in this fashion. And then if you have any products to use at home, again, you can get into hand relief. Massage, it works really good for massage, the lotion itself and the feet. Again, if you have any lotion, that's great. But the Stress Fix line also has bath salts that are great for tight, sore muscles. So doing a soak when you're extra tight and sore, maybe before you massage each other. The body cream has a really nice glide for massaging, probably a little better glide than the lotion does. And then just for that spa at home and de-stressing in general, if you don't have time to massage each other, aromatherapy is always good. One of my favorite Stress Fix products is it's a little roll-on perfume, so it has a little roller top on it. So you can, rub it on your neck and just keep smelling that aroma, giving your body that physical stress fix of lowering the stress hormone cortisol in the body just by breathing in that aroma into your lungs, into your bloodstream, has the physical effect on the body. And then this would be the oil. If you do need an oil at home, the Composition Oil Stress Fix is ready to use on the skin for massage, like you saw us demonstrate. If you purchase this one, it's a stronger concentration, so you want to take like a lotion or something, an oil that you have at home, put a little bit in your hand. So this you don't want to use directly on the skin, where this you can use directly on the skin. If I'm using this, it's more for the aroma because it's more concentrated, so I just want to add literally a couple little drops and then mix it together in my hand, and then I would apply that. We also have a couples massage room that we will be utilizing in the future, so you can always come in and see us if you can't replicate spa at home here at Neroli North Shore. Thank you so much.